What's going on, sports fans? This is Jake Waxman.
And Tyler Lavalette.
Welcoming you to WTV 10 here in Waterford for another Friday Roundtable, and on a gorgeous Friday. Made for baseball, if you will. Ain't that right, Tyler Lavalette?
Yes. It's a little rough for the Tigers right now. In spite of a 3-run home run effort by Colt Keefe on Monday night, the Detroit Tigers fell to the Astros and to finish up their series in Houston, following only being able to play 2 games in Cleveland because of a postponed game for weather. And the bad news just keeps getting worse. The planned return for Justin Verlander to the lineup rotation on Sunday, making it must-see JV, has been put on hold again. Strained left hamstring. Timetable to return unknown. Cater Montero to take his place in the bullpen in the rotation that day. I expect refunds to be plenty to those that just got tickets to go to the game with their dads because they wanted to see JV what could be one last time. But now, oh boy, this might not be happening at all, sadly.
The hits just keep coming for the Tigers. Obviously, last I checked, they were sitting dead last in the AL Central at 30-44. Of course, that's probably now been updated, but I feel your pain, Tigers fans. It's been really a rough season. Obviously, the season's not been going the way the Tigers have been wanting it to go. And then on top of that, you get news like this where Verlander isn't quite ready to go yet, and now the Tigers' front office and ticket sales are going to have to do some refunding. Oh, man. Rocky season when it feels like right now nothing is going right for the Tigers. Even the simple things.
Torres is back on the injured list again for an injury he suffered in Houston. Baez, of course, he's still on it. And to be precise, they are 9.5 games out of first place in the AL Central. And this weekend starts a 10-game homestand with the longest of the season homestand for the Tigers, where they play the White Sox this weekend, then games against the Yankees and the Astros making their trip to Detroit before the Tigers have a road trip into July, with trips in New York and into Dallas, Arlington for the Rangers.
Oh, man. Okay, first of all, I'm going to start by saying this. No better time for the Tigers to get things rolling on the summer and maybe make a late season surge and somehow make the postseason than with sweeping the series against those White Sox. You guys know me. I'm not a White Sox fan. Don't care for them. I'm a Cubs fan. I'd love nothing more than for Tyler's team to get the ball rolling against who else but those blasted White Sox. Their fans are getting really, really loud, and they're giving us Cubs fans a hard time, as if like they've forgotten that 2 seasons ago the White Sox had one of the worst records in MLB history. Okay, don't be acting like everything's all right. Just remember, the White Sox, they got some dark history. I mean, whether it's 2 seasons ago having one of the worst records in MLB history, or going way back when we had the Black Sox scandal where they threw the World Series. So I at least could say my team didn't throw away the World Series for one. Look, here, if you're the Tigers, you just want to get things rolling. You want to get the ball rolling, and no better opportunity than against the White Sox, who have been one of the biggest surprises of this MLB season. Nobody expected them to be leading the AL Central, let alone be in the playoff race. And even in spite of the injuries, if you're the Tigers, just focus on what you can control and give it your best. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, and that's even with Murakami, one of the recent acquired Japanese superstar, being injured last I noticed as well. They're still doing fairly well in the AL Central race. And my advice still stands to you, Jake. You're a Cubs fan.
Yes, I am.
Never date a White Sox fan.
First of all,
I told you that when we had Gary on it last year, and it still holds true.
First of all, once more, I thank you for that advice, and I will keep in mind, if I'm dating a lady from Chicago and she's a White Sox fan, there's a good chance it's not going to work out or it's not meant to be after all.
I'll refrain from that and Cleveland. I'll take the Detroit people.
And I will say this, too. For the Cubs, it's not been the news hasn't been all that much better either. Right now, neither the Tigers nor the Cubs are really gaining in the race for the playoffs. So, Cubs right now sitting third in the NL Central, 39-36. So they are above 500, but it's not really saying a lot. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games. I guess the only good news, which I want to thank my man Tyler Lavalette for here, is they are currently really taking it to the Toronto Blue Jays 16-2. That's what Tyler at least showed me. If we can have more games like that, more high-scoring games like that, the Cubs will actually have a better shot to make the playoffs. But it's not just that. Pitching's been a problem. Craig Counsell has been shuffling through the gosh darn lineups way too frickin' much. Like, come on. Let's just stick with the guys who are doing well, all right? Let them lead off if we have to, all right? One other thing that, as we approach July, one other thing that people are going to be looking into when it comes to both the Cubs and the Tigers, the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. Who's going to be buyers, who's going to be sellers? That's the question especially for the Tigers and the Cubs. And from what I understand, and I'll let Tyler get into this, Tarek Skubal looks to be a favorite to be traded at some point. Is that correct, Tyler?
That is the rumblings I'm hearing in Detroit as well. And with how this team is doing, I would not be surprised if that's the case. Ownership and front office is saying it's not going to happen. But unfortunately, they have to play coy here because they know things are not going well, mainly for situations beyond their control, like I just talked about with Verlander. But it's just basically them calling bluff. As we get closer to the end of July and things are still bad, if we get closer to the end of July and things are bad, when you factor in that Scubo's going to be a free agent at the end of the current season before we hit the lockout, if we have a lockout, that is, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea for the Tigers to unload this contract and then let him go to the free agent, be a problem for someone other team, and also let him go to a team that's a contender. Now, as far as tonight is concerned, he will be pitching against the White Sox, but unfortunately, like I said, no Verlander again. But as far as Scubo's going, I'm concerned. I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone.
Yeah, from the looks of things, honestly, with the way the Tiger season is going, and if the losses keep piling up, it's more and more likely that not only the Tigers are going to be sellers at the trade deadline, but they're going to sell Tarek Skubal. And, oh boy, I've heard a rumor, too, that the Los Angeles Dodgers are a favorite to acquire Skubal in the trade, which that is the last thing baseball fans want to see. If you ask me, that's the last thing any of us who like watching the sport of baseball want to see, because the last thing we want to see is the Dodgers win another tied, or at least 2 or 3 in a row. Oh my God. If they get Skubal, the Dodgers are going to win the World Series. That's pretty much what I will say there. In terms of the Cubs, I could see them being buyers if they strongly believe, of course, that they got a chance to make the playoffs. They're above .500, but it's going to be close. Although, it also would not be surprising to me if they do some selling too. One guy for the Cubs that could be a candidate to be traded is Seiya Suzuki, the outfielder. That's a guy that a couple teams, from what I understand, could be looking at, those who especially need outfielder help.
And I don't think the Dodgers are one of those teams.
As if the Dodgers have got so much firepower there. But
and I'm kidding, right?
Yeah, I know. I mean, they still could.
Yeah, anything's possible. We'll see what happens as we get towards late July, early August.
Yeah, as I've said again, I just hope that the Dodgers are the ones that do not get Skubal. I hope it's some other contender that gets him if the Tigers do trade him. But please, anyone but the Dodgers. Please.
How about we hold off on trade discussions until we get toward the end of July, okay? for now, let's just have fun, try to enjoy what we can in summer and as we get closer to the All-Star break.
Thank you for reminding me. Hopefully, the Cubs can get some momentum going, and same with the Tigers. Again, really bummed about what's going on with Justin Verlander. Detroit fans more than anybody else, we just want to see him pitch once again for the Tigers, the team that he started his career with. That's all we ask. We just want to, just one more time, we just want to see him pitch for the Tigers. That's all we ask. And as for the Cubs, I just want him to be consistent, all right? I just want him to win some series and at least make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Is that too much to ask? Maybe so.
We'll see what happens.
Yep. So that's where the Cubs and the Tigers stand going into July and heading into very close to not only the heart of the season, but around the All-Star break, as Tyler has mentioned. Anyway, shifting gears. Okay, sports fans, I just intercepted, last night, I intercepted some really interesting news surrounding IndyCar, or should I say what we call silly season. So I want to give credit to David Land, who covers IndyCar, YouTube personality, by the way, and also MSN that published this article. So David Land, this is a quote from David Land, one of the drivers who is in play in terms of the IndyCar silly season, believe it or not, is Scott Dixon, said David Land. We're not sure what he's going to do next year. He hasn't re-signed with Ganassi as of yet, and my understanding from a conversation I had in Detroit is that the exclusive negotiation window has passed for Chip Ganassi Racing with Scott Dixon. So Scott, well and truly, is a free agent. Wow.
Yeah, I can't really say much. It's like Ganassi and Dixon. Sure, the sponsorships change every so often. I mean, I remember when you had Target, and nowadays it's PNC. But even still, that's a combination like peanut butter and jelly, when you think about it. Or peanut butter and chocolate like a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. But even still, some things go together just well. And to know that that could be gone by next year, crazy. That's something we're going to have to get used to. Might have to get used to in due time.
If this was happening, like 5 years ago, I'd be like, what the heck is going on here? What happened at Chip Ganassi Racing? Holy cow. Here's the thing. David Land, okay, credit to him. This guy knows what he's talking about. We can believe him on this because he actually goes to almost all the IndyCar races and actually works along the sidelines getting interviews and that stuff and gathering information. So
yeah, I want to point out that I saw some of his coverage of the 500 the practice weeks and stuff. He did a pretty good job, man, to get Sunoco as a sponsor for that, of all things. So good to him on that. And yeah, he's done pretty well. So I can trust him on that front.
And what makes him really special, too, is he's not associated with any of the big news media. No, he's got his own thing going on. He does his own thing covering IndyCar coverage, but he does an amazing job at it. He also mentioned that he had reached out to Chip Ganassi Racing for contract talk details, but the team had no comment on that, or they don't comment on those matters, at least from what he's...
Standard operating procedures.
Yeah.
But still, it doesn't hurt to get to check your sources, dot your I's, cross your T's, and make sure you're not having any lapse in your coverage.
Absolutely. But considering the work that David Land does in covering IndyCar, and considering he has been on the in the garage area interviewing drivers, this is a info that a source that I can trust. So here's the thing: the crazy thing about this, this is crazy. Everybody's like, "What? Scott Dixon being a free agent and possibly racing for someone other than Chip Ganassi?" I mean, that's crazy talk. That's bonkers. But here we are, and it could happen. Here's the thing. Scott Dixon, he's one of the greatest drivers of all time in IndyCar racing, has, I think, the third most wins all time. Mm-hmm. 2008 Indy 500 champion. He's got 6 IndyCar titles to his name. At this point, and here's the thing, he's 45 at the moment. And for most drivers, that's close to retirement age. Yeah, he does still have a little bit of that competitive. He's still got that competitiveness in him. He wins at least the last few seasons. He's at least averaging 1 win a season. And here's the thing: one of the reasons that he could be leaving Chip Ganassi by the end of the season is because he's now the number 2 driver, and Chip Ganassi has pooled all the resources behind Alex Palou, who is just absolutely dominating in IndyCar right now. So, a couple things just to consider when you look at why would Scott Dixon leave Chip Ganassi Racing?
Yeah, it's pretty clear that who's being a favorite driver now, just because over the time that Dixon has been with the team from kart and into IndyCar after the merger. That's just stuff to consider. I mean, if anything, we should not be all that surprised when you consider that Will Power's no longer with Penske.
Absolutely, and Power at the very least got to leave on his own terms too, and I think he was ready to do something different, and Penske was looking to go younger with its driver lineup, so it made sense for both sides to go separate directions, and something like this could happen where Scott Dixon, like Will Power, he could be ready to do something different now because he's got nothing left to prove in IndyCar. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a racing Hall of Famer. He's achieved all that. He's got an Indy 500 win, all those Astor Cups as well, in the name of the championship trophy for IndyCar. So if Scott Dixon truly still has something left in the tank, which I had a feeling he still does even at 45, perhaps racing for another team, that's really not too far-fetched. Maybe a team like Andretti picks him up. Maybe Penske decides we'll do a 4th car and put Dixon in it. Or, maybe a smaller team like Meyer-Shank Racing makes a bid to go and get him. You just never know. Another thing, sponsors could play a part in all that, especially when PNC Bank comes to mind. Are they a sponsor of Scott Dixon, or are they one of Chip Ganassi's sponsors? That, I won't say I 100% know, but this is all stuff that could play a factor into what Scott Dixon decides once this 2026 season concludes.
Right. There's still a lot of time to figure that out, considering we got IndyCar coming up in Road America this Sunday.
Well, always a great venue, too. I love watching that race. Like, the action there is pretty good. But the big story as of late for IndyCar, Scott Dixon may not be at Chip Ganassi next season after so many years of excellence there and great memories. But maybe both parties are looking to go separate directions, or maybe they're still talking with each other, or Scott's talking with a whole bunch of different teams. But Scott Dixon, he's got plenty of time to figure this out, so don't worry about him. I wouldn't be surprised if the focus for Dixon is just trying to win some more races and another IndyCar championship, and maybe proving, hey, I still got what it takes. I may be 45, but I still got that competitive edge in me.
We'll see what happens.
Yes, we will. So, big shock of a news, but yep, this is a story that's not a whole lot of people have heard, but it's out there. Believe me. Just ask David Land. And now shifting gears to some football, not American football, but just, what we call soccer here in the United States, or football. So we'll start off by talking about the game between Mexico and South Korea. And wow, Mexico really had to work overtime to secure their group. And to think it almost came crashing down, if not for this moment right here. Can we see the clip?
That's the chance. It's a great save. It's a double save. It's outstanding from Rangel. The man from Guadalajara. Mexico's hero. As he kept that up. I have no idea.
That could have gone over the line.
And it was that close. Look at that. You got South Koreans crashing the net too, and the ball's up in the air. And
it didn't go in.
He kept that up.
That's the save of the year so far.
Save of the tournament, ladies and gentlemen. Save of the tournament.
I said to myself watching that game last night, if Mexico holds on to win, everybody is going to be talking about that save for the rest of 2026. And sure enough, they did just hold on to win 1-0 over South Korea and secure their group and a spot, of course, in the knockout rounds. So good for Mexico. Congrats to them. And also, even bigger news for them, they're going to stay, from what I understand, at least for the first game of the knockout rounds, they're going to stay on their home soil and play in the knockout rounds to start in Mexico. I don't know exactly if it's going to be Mexico City, Guadalajara, or Monterrey. I think they're playing in Monterrey for their final group play game. I could be wrong.
Right. If I'm looking at, from what I've understood about all the stadiums, I think Guadalajara is only going to go into the group play. Not Monterrey and Mexico City will at least get a round of 32 match, maybe a round of 16. I don't know, but I definitely know the quarterfinal. The U.S. is the primary benefactor when we get late into the knockout rounds. In terms of everything's going to be in the U.S. up to the final in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. So there's that to consider. And speaking of the U.S., they won 2-0. One of the goals was an own goal by one of the Australian players. Oops. And the second one was a goal that was initially disallowed to the offsides. VAR overchecked, and it was overturned. So no offsides, 2-0 win, group win secured for the U.S. as they head into a game next Thursday in L.A. to close it out.
First of all, best news. If you're a U.S. fan, that's the best news you've gotten all day long. So you're in the postseason, or at least the FIFA World Cup, at least the knockout rounds. You got a chance. We got a shot to do some damage and make some miracles happen.
And there's a possibility of USA-England on the 4th of July in Philly. Well, you got to take care of your final group match, win your round of 32 game first, and assume round of 16 is going to happen that day when you get to play them on the 4th of July. But anything can happen. If World 2023 WBC taught us anything, everyone was talking about a USA-Japan final with it going down to Trout versus Otani. That's what we got. Mm-hmm. So anything can happen.
How awkward would that be? You know, you're British. Okay, you don't like to think too much about the 4th of July, but how awkward would that be? 4th of July, America's 250th birthday, and the U.S. ends up going up against the country which we declared our independence from.
In the cradle of liberty, in the city called the Cradle of Liberty, where the Declaration of Independence is at, no less.
Yeah, I think people organizing the World Cup, if this does happen, they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were trying to get out of this. Yeah, freedom intensifies. If that happens, let freedom ring. Let the eagle sing. Let the eagle spread her wings. If I hope this does happen. It'll be a really good matchup too between the England and the U.S. if this does happen. Of course, still quite a few things to tend to, but happy for the U.S. Taking care of Australia, and of course, I did watch at least the first half before I came on my way here to the studio. The own goal was the U.S. Both games that the U.S. has played, they've started off each game by forcing an own goal. That is just bonkers.
At least it's like opposing team calling the own goal and not the U.S. Credit to the U.S. players for not being that stupid to do that. and of course, and this is even with Pulisic out for injury. Mm-hmm. So good on the U.S. for proving you don't need him to win a game.
Yep. No Christian Pulisic, and yet the U.S. takes care of business against Australia. I'm glad the offsides was called off and they got that second goal because it was close, but I was like, he looks like he's onside. Hard to tell. But speaking of like the own goals that the U.S. has forced, that's a testament to the U.S.'s plan of attack. Early on, they go all out. They force the pressure. They attack defenses, and it's showing. And when you're able to force own goals like that, that's a testament to how much the U.S. is attacking the other team's defense. And that's what we need to see more of from Team USA. Just attack for the full 90 minutes. Don't let up, even if you get tired. Attack, attack, attack. That's the strategy. It's working out beautifully for the U.S. And because of that, they're on their way to the knockout rounds.
Well deserved for that host country. And Canada also did pretty well. They took care of Qatar yesterday, 6-0 from what I've heard.
Absolutely smoked the host of the previous World Cup, 6-0, and they needed that. The Canadians, they needed that after tying their first game. So hopefully get another win, and they'll be in the knockouts as well. We'd love to see all three of the host countries have a shot to do some damage in the knockout rounds.
Even if they don't win at all, it still would be good.
Yeah, that'd be huge for the Canadians to get to the knockout rounds. Absolutely. Couple other notes. If you like the action that you're seeing, if you like goals being scored, this is the World Cup for you. If you also like ties, this is the World Cup for you. I know we don't like ties across all other sports, but in the World Cup, if you're a smaller country, no. Ties are good. All right, you get a point out of it. And for teams like, and here's another thing, for teams like the French, you got the English, of course, and I got to throw the Germans in there. They scored plenty of goals in their first opening game. Those three nations look really, really tough right now. So if they can keep scoring goals, one of those teams may end up winning the World Cup. Hard to say who it might be between those three. It could also be someone like Spain, who not off to the best start in this World Cup. They tied their first game, didn't even score a single goal. That's the worst kind of tie.
Ouch.
Yeah, kind of game. And then there's Portugal. A lot of people are talking about Portugal. A lot of people have criticism for Cristiano Ronaldo and the Portuguese.
Oh, Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yep. So I don't know whether or not the criticism is warranted or not, but the one thing I do know for certain right now, all the pressure right now is on Portugal. I don't know if they have enough, really. Even with Cristiano Ronaldo, I just don't know if they have enough to make a push to go win the World Cup. But that's just me.
We'll see what happens. Just have to obviously wait and see what happens,
Yep. And I do want to mention other games that are going on today. We got Scotland versus Morocco. And by the way, we'll be talking a lot about the fans of Scotland in just a moment. Brazil versus Haiti. That's going to be another good contest. And, of course, Turkey and Paraguay. The other two teams that are in the U.S.'s group, or Group D, as I should mention. Mm-hmm. So I mentioned we were going to talk a lot about the fans of Scotland or the Tartan Army.
Good old Tartan Army. Gotta love their presence in the U.S. The fact that Boston is going to be a twin city to Glasgow, or it was already been announced, that's pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. Several areas are going to allow outdoor drinking. Thank you, Scotland. The beer are running low again. Thank you, Scotland. I watched the Sunday Night Baseball game with the Rangers Red Sox. I could hear the Scots chanting and singing. That was awesome. and yeah, Michigan, like I said last week, Michigan didn't get any of the World Cup action, the goodies. But I'm still loving what I'm seeing online. It's awesome. I like it. I mean, even the Europeans are going to baseball games for crying out loud. Like the Scots last week.
Yeah. In fact, sports fans, as Tyler, with all of what Tyler's mentioning here, the Tartan Army or the fans of Scotland, they are this week's golden moment of sports. Let us share with you some highlights of their invasion of Boston. Roll clip, please. Yeah. Play those bagpipes. That's outside of Fenway, by the way. Imagine hearing this in the morning.
Now that's quite the alarm clock.
I would love that. Right on the train. It gets better.
I'm going to be 500 miles by the pretenders, the claimers. That group, those guys are beloved in Scotland. Mm-hmm. And to know at least one of their songs made it big here in the States, that's good.
Yeah, honestly, fan base of the year. Just write it down. Just give them the trophy for fan base of the year. And you know what? Best thing about all this is, unlike New York Knicks fans, they didn't light buses on fire. They didn't trash the streets. They just
steal a custom designed trash can at that. I've seen the footage of some assholes emptying out a trash can in New York after the parade and stealing the trash can because it has Knicks colors on it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It was pretty much a peaceful takeover of Boston. And literally, they marched right to Fenway, playing the song of their people. Those bagpipes, man, it's so beautiful. I'm touched by the Scots here. Their presence in the United States has been amazing. And honestly, it makes you just want to hang out. I would go and hang out with those guys and even drink with those guys. They look like they are having, the Scottish people, they look like they are having an absolute wonderful time here in the United States. By the way, I want to mention this too. There's another video. Unfortunately, we don't have it with us, but there is a video of them singing the U.S. national anthem in a bar in Boston. How about that?
Dang. They're not even Americans. Well, unless they're Scottish American of God's descent.
They could be Scottish Americans if they wanted to be.
But hey, they're having fun, as are many of the other European international fans that are here from countries like Japan, the Korea, South Korea, the Europe, the Dutch, the Germans, the Swedes. And I'm sure there's some English out there that are having a good time too.
You know, the irony about all this, Tyler, is Boston is kind of more of a city that has more of kind of like, if anything, an Irish influence, and yet it's the Scottish right now. It's the Scottish influence that has taken over the city.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Considering Ireland didn't even make it to the World Cup. Scotland's the next best thing.
Absolutely. Listen, this just makes me so happy to see that. They've invaded Boston, and as Tyler mentioned, they have dried Boston of all the beer, except from what I understand, Bud Light, which I can understand because the Scottish people have way better taste in beer than Bud Light. That's not a joke. By the way, this is coming from someone who has tried Bud Light. It was disgusting.
I've had it.
Yeah.
Literally, that's the first sip I had as well.
Yep. From my experience, I'm just gonna spill the beans on this. It tastes like cat piss, literally cat piss.
Yeah, I said it tastes like chemicals. So you and I aren't far off, buddy.
But to the Scottish people, welcome to the United States. Enjoy your stay, and thank you so much for bringing good vibes, good life, and your beautiful music, your beautiful bagpipes here to the United States. And thank you for not trashing the city of Boston. Thank you for being respectful, unlike Nick fans who just trash their own city.
And of course also the Japanese who have a video of them picking up the trash following a game in Dallas.
That's very kind of them.
And influencing other fan bases of other nations to do the same. If anything, Japan's culture is rubbing off of other country fan bases in a great way. Much respect to them as well.
Absolutely. And to all the other fan bases, welcome to the United States. Enjoy your stay and enjoy all the action. Or should I try and say it? Okay, I'll try my best to discuss. Enjoy all the action, boys. Sorry, that's a really bad impression of a Scottish accent.
Yeah.
But it was bad. Do not try what I just said again. But
I'm not gonna.
All right. Great action on the field for the World Cup, and the fan bases, they've all, especially the Scots, the Flying Scots, all been amazing.
That it has, and the fact that we still got a couple more 4 or so more weeks of this, it just means we're gonna get more and more exciting time for many of the other fan bases whose teams are still here in the U.S. for as long as for the duration of the tournament.
Indeed. Can't wait to hear what more wonderful fan stories. Can't wait to hear more wonderful fan stories from this World Cup. Before we close off today's Friday Roundtable, some congrats are in order here. First of all, I want to congratulate one of Chicago's greatest athletes of all time, the one and only Johnathan Toews, who announced today that he is retiring from the NHL after a Hall of Fame worthy career, 3 Stanley Cups with the Blackhawks, and of course helped Canada to 2 gold medals and won a lot of other awards. And Johnathan Toews, he's probably the biggest reason why I like wearing number 19. I'm wearing my Toews jersey to honor him. And honestly, Johnathan Toews, thank you so much for everything you've given to hockey. Thank you for everything you've given to the Chicago Blackhawks. And thanks for inspiring me to become a great fan of the sport we call hockey. Thank you, Johnathan Toews, and enjoy your future.
Yes, I'm a Wings fan, and I have nothing but respect for that Canadian icon. tremendous respect. Great part of a key of the great Blackhawk dynasty you got to have over a decade ago.
I was spoiled.
And hey, put that number on the rafters at the UC. Do it when in due time, of course, but do it. Retire that number. It belongs there at the tops of the United Center.
Couldn't agree more, Tyler. And you know what? Let me show you. Here's my reminder. You see this 19? Mm-hmm. Chicago Blackhawks, you're Chicago Blackhawks. Hang this 19 from the rafters. Retire it. No one else should wear that number because that's Johnathan Toews.
And take a tip from the Wings when they retired number 19 with the Eiserman. He had a C next to his name. Do it as well.
That's right. Two great number 19s, man. Two of the greatest number 19s we have ever seen in hockey. Also, congratulations to the New York Knicks on your first NBA championship since 1973. Yes, I congratulate you. In spite of the fact you decided to trash New York City. Like, come on, man.
And the fact that you only restricted the parade route to the Canyon of Heroes and not throughout much of the boroughs. Really, guys? Just so you could have a straight shot to see Mandani. Like, I get it if it as a historic route for the Canyon of Heroes, but still.
Yeah.
It's more than just that part of Manhattan, guys. Also, congratulations are in order to the Hurricanes for their win against the Vegas Golden Knights, their first Stanley Cup final win in 20 years.
Absolutely, and huge congrats to guys like Freddie Anderson and Jordan Stahl. Of course, Freddie Anderson, big part of Carolina's path to the Stanley Cup Finals. Got injured, unfortunately, and I think it was Game 3. Can't remember if it was Game 3 or 4, but he deserved to hoist that Stanley Cup. And Jordan Stahl won it a couple years ago as a member of the Pittsburgh Penguins. It had a long drought between Stanley Cup championships. Happy he got back, and once more, congrats to Raleigh and congrats to the state of congrats to the Carolinas. Go celebrate that Stanley Cup, man. Well deserved. Congrats to the Hurricanes.
And if you watch your Aaron Trees congratulations video, notice his deep voice Hurricanes man.
Oh no!
When you think about when you watch the Little Cup video he did all those years ago with them. To see that voice go to the highest of highs, that's definitely special. And to Steve, enjoy having your vocal cords taking a break. It is a tax on your voice for good reason.
Tree did a really good job, so he's going to take a well-earned break because I think his vocals are going to need a lot of time to recover.
Yeah, I watched the Haters Guide to the NBA Finals and the second round of the Thunder, and you could tell how taxed the cords were still from doing it for the Stanley Cup Final video alone.
Absolutely. Wow. But once again, congrats to all those three Once again, congrats to Johnathan Toews on retirement, and congrats to the Knicks and the Hurricanes on their well-earned championships and memorable seasons and years filled with memories.
And again, congratulations to the U.S. for their victory over Australia today.
That's right. Good job, Team USA. Keep up the good work. Let's go make some noise. First, got to take care of business, of course, in our final qualifying game, and then we're on to the knockouts, and hopefully we can get Christian Pulisic back in time. That's my great hope.
Yep.
With that being said, sports fans, that's all we got for this week's Friday Roundtable. Special thanks to my man, Tyler Lavalette, for all his hard work. Special thanks to Josh, Whitney, Jim, everybody here at the studio. Could not do this without you. You guys make the stream a reality. Follow us on Two Guys Talk Sports and other things on YouTube for more videos like this, and follow us on Two Guys Talk Sports on Facebook for, again, sports news and other videos that we post from time to time, including this stuff.
We will be on the air for next Friday, but we will be off on the 3rd of July for the observance of the Independence Day that weekend for the 250th anniversary.
Yes, we will. So, just wanted to give you Tyler wanted to give you the heads up there. And with that being said, sports fans, we hope you enjoy all the soccer this weekend and you enjoy the beautiful weather this weekend. This is Jake Waxman
and Tyler Lavalette
wishing you all a good weekend, sports fans. Take care.